I was alerted by a friend of mine to an article in one of the newspapers about a hotel in Shrewsbury, or Shrewsbury, depending on how you want to pronounce it, in Shropshire. Now, I should say that I have a personal interest in this because I have been in the hotel. I haven't stayed in the hotel, but in the past I've made videos in the hotel and I've interviewed a previous owner of the hotel. It's the Lion Hotel at the top of a street called Wild Cop. Shrewsbury itself is a fantastic Elizabethan stroke Georgian town surrounded by the River Severn in Shropshire. And for about 10 years I was going up every other weekend, so it was pretty much a second home for me. And I was told that there were immigrants being put up in the Lion Hotel. This is a 16th century hotel, an old coaching inn that used to be on Telford's A5, or it's the A5 now, but it was the London to Holyhead road. And the coaches would go up from London and they would stop off at the Lion Hotel. It's actually, the Lion Hotel is Darwin, Charles Darwin lived in Shrewsbury, and he set off on his early journeys to explore the world from the coach point outside the Lion Hotel. It's a fantastic hotel. So I was amazed that there were immigrants being stayed there. Now, my friend, who I used to go and stay with, told me that it was a mixture of immigrants had been put up there recently in the last month, which had upset the town, as you can believe. It is a beautiful town, and I cannot actually conceive. Now, I know this is happening all over the country, which I suppose is why when you read about it in the papers or see it on the news, but it's not your place or you don't know the place, it's interesting, it's a shame, it's despicable. But when you actually, it's your place or a place that you have huge affinity with, which Shrewsbury I do, it sort of hits harder, the message that this is going on. Now, I don't know whether, and this will probably be revealed more in the newspapers as time goes on, that it might be the immigrants coming over from, I don't know, Albania or the rubber dinghy lot. Now, last night, the place had to be evacuated. The hotel had to be evacuated, and in the paper that I read, it just said some incident, but it didn't say what. So I was quick onto my friend to find out the news, and she told me that it was a bomb of some sort. Now, whether that is somebody outside, as we saw before at Manston, who came over and wanted to target the immigrants because they were annoyed or upset or what have you, and it may have been somebody who was very angry and wanted to make a statement, or I don't know, or whether it was something that was made inside the hotel and it went off, or just a local resident, or whatever. I can't tell you, and so I have no opinion on that at all. But I can say that it really hit me home to think of this beautiful hotel, and you see the pictures of these other hotels in which the immigrants are being put up in. And you really think, come on, government, you've got to get to deal with this. You can't put people who are coming in and invading our shores in their rubber dinghies, who have no real wish to immerse themselves in the English way of life in our country. They're over here to get jobs. We know that they're being fed into illegal activities on the whole, and not all of them, of course. But I don't know, and I'm not going to say categorically that they are those people, although it seems the most likely because the government doesn't know what to do with them when they're coming in en masse. And we've heard that the government is buying up time in hotels. What I am disappointed is that the hotel felt that it would accept this. I certainly praise those hoteliers who are saying, no, I won't accept your deal. I don't want the big money to house immigrants in my hotel, which will change the character and nature of the hotel, will prevent people from going there. It is an old, beautiful, creaky hotel with oak panelling. Yes, it might be more expensive than down the road at the Premier Inn. I think they've recently built in Shrewsbury. It might be that, but it's right in the heart of the town. It's right outside the main shopping area at the top of Wildcop, at the top of a steep hill, and the restaurants around that area. It's such a beautiful town, and it's one of those places, because of the river, which is like a giant horseshoe. You cannot put new property into it. There are some changes to the town in recent times, in the 50s and 60s and things, but mostly it is from the Elizabethan period, with lots of timber framed houses, and the Georgian period, where many of the timber framed houses have a Georgian frontage on. It is quite a beautiful town, and it's got its own castle, which was erected by Montgomery. What's his name? Who came over with not Montgomery from I'm getting myself in a muddle here, and this is very embarrassing. The Montgomery who came over with William the Conqueror, that one. And it's got a beautiful abbey, and the jail is one of the old-fashioned jails, which is now a tourist centre. You can go and explore what it was like in an old Victorian jail. I've been in there, and in fact I've made a video in there, and if you search Richard Vobes and Shrewsbury Jail, you'll see inside that. That's fascinating. The streets are wonderful. They've got these little alleyways and lanes. Now, down where I live in Worthing, we call them Twittons, but up there they're called shuts, and these are the back streets. Well, if these are the sort of haunts that I would worry that, and they've got some delightful names, and they've had some more obscene names during the back end of history. Grope Lane, for example, is one such thing. But these are the sort of places where if you had ne'er-do-wells, they would be hanging about. And I do worry that there may be, the modern day ne'er-do-wells at night time may be hanging about. I have a book on them, and one of the theories about the shuts, these alleys, is that they were shut up at night time by doorways to prevent things like that. But you can cross the town pretty much by nipping down these back alleys and not have to go through the main centre. It is a very touristy town. It has Shrewsbury School, where they do rowing on the Severn. I've taken my little old, it's knackered now, but a coracle, which is an old sort of a basket of a boat on the River Severn there. You have this beautiful two bridges, the English bridge on the English side, and then right on the Welsh side of the town you have the Welsh bridge. It is a beautiful place, and when I think that it's housing people who really have no interest whatsoever in an English way of life, in an English history, en masse in this place. And we've seen how some of these other, we've heard reports how some of the other hotels are being trashed by these bored asylum seekers, these migrants who I don't believe really want to immerse themselves into English culture and be people who want to become English or British citizens. I just don't think that's true. And they may be in this place for a year or so whilst the government tries to work out what to do with them. I just find the whole thing abhorrent, and I really hope that the government does something about it, and very soon. If you want to see the documentary I made about travelling in Shropshire and travelling in Shrewsbury, which features the hotel and talks about the coaching era, I'll put a link in the description. I actually don't make any money from that at all because I made it for a television program series many years ago. But I'll put the link in there. You're very welcome to look at it. But yes, a bomb. That's what I've heard. If you've heard any more and can update me, I'd be very grateful. What's going on at the Lion Hotel in Shrewsbury? Thanks for watching.